Welcome, everybody, to the
I'm Fat Podcast.
Snacks are best saved for later.
With Jay Zawoski.
That man ate all our shrimp and 2 plastic lobsters.
And Rick Camp.
Out of the mist came a beast more stomach than man.
Welcome into another edition of the I'm Fat Podcast, brought to you by our sponsors, Charlie the Bacon Guy, Mazda of Orland Park, and Frato's Culinary Kitchen. I am Rick Camp alongside fellow fat Jay Zawoski. And Jay, I know you've been putting the miles on the car this week. It's been busy. You've had to go to Rockford because that's the closest relevant hockey team. You've had softball. You've had a week there, and you're lacking something too.
Yeah, my beard is gone. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm sorry. YouTube.com/I'mFatPodcast. I lost a hockey bet. I bet in the beginning of last Hawk season that the Hawks would not have one of the 3 worst records in the league. I thought the roster was too good to accomplish what they wanted to. I was almost correct. Almost correct, but I was not correct. So I had to shave the beard on the show last week, and boy, I do not like my face. I don't know if it's just because I'm so used to having a beard or if I actually look bad shaved. I don't know the answer. And part of me is like, maybe I'll stay this way for a while because, I don't know, everyone's got a beard. Maybe time to mix it up. And then they go to softball practice, and these 12 and 13-year-old girls are looking at me like I'm, dressed like a clown or something. They're like, what's wrong with you? Why do you look like that? What's wrong with
Why
your
are you
face?
the way that you are?
Like, they just can't be. They're just not nice anyway. They're great kids, but they're just jerks.
Hold on. 12 and 13-year-old girls are jerks?
Yeah. Well, it's my fault because I encourage it. Because I'm the fun coach. I'm the one who makes fun of them, and that's so they give it back to me. And when I give them ammo, like my freaking face that the good Lord gave me, they're gonna use that ammo and make me feel like shit about myself. Which is why I appreciate them. My favorite band of weirdos, the 12U Homewood Heat. That's my team.
Heat or hate?
Heat. I will
Should
go
be
in the
hate.
foxhole with those girls, and it'll be weird, but it'll be fun. They are awesome. They're just this band of misfits, and I love them. So whatever, they can bust my balls all they want. Anyway, some stuff you should know about. I told you about the YouTube page. We're on social media at I'm Fat Pod. TikTok. Wow, good start. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at I'm Fat Pod. We're also on Patreon/I'm Fat Pod. However, a new edition starting today.
And members of.
Yes. If you go to our Spotify page, pull it up on your desktop, pull it up on your phone, you will see at the I'm Fat Podcast homepage a button to support the podcast. It gives you some options. 99 cents a month, $4.99 a month, whatever the other one is. I didn't even look beyond that. Here's what we'll say. We're not here to beg you for money, but if you enjoy the podcast and could spare a cup of coffee a month for Rick and I, it would make a big difference for us. It would also allow us to not pursue more advertisers because this does take time. Both of us are busy. We want it to be something that is worthwhile for us to do. We love doing it. Don't get us wrong. But if everyone kicked in $3, $4 a month, it would really go a long way. So not begging, but just asking nicely. If you can't do that, the best thing you can do for free is leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. That would be very, very helpful. We've also got our merch shop, I'mFatMerch.com. People loved our hot dog shop design with the Pepsi logo last week so much that it wasn't a plan to make that a t-shirt, but it was a t-shirt that day. I'mFatMerch.com. We've got at least 2 new designs coming this week, with potentially a third coming. Our buddy Mark Allen Fishman from Unshaven Comics, who makes all of our logos, has been really just inspired by the podcast lately and has been cranking out a ton of stuff for us. So we love that you love the Pepsi thing. It is available now.
Definitely not Pepsi, for the record.
Perpsy. Yes, check it out. I'mFatMerch.com.
It's Pep.
There you go. I like that. Other than that, so I think we covered everything, right? I got the Patreon, got the social medias, the YouTubes, all that stuff. Make sure if you're watching on YouTube, by the way, hit that like button for us and subscribe to the channel as well. That would be greatly appreciated. And one other thing you can do, if you don't want to kick in financially, if there's an episode you love and you think there's a friend of yours that would like it, just share an episode with somebody. Hey, check this podcast out. That goes a really long way. So there's lots of ways to help, some financial, some not, but we appreciate all of it, always. All right, like you said, Rick, a lot of miles on the car this week. I had to go back to Oak Park.
By the way, I hope you're saving that transition for when we talk about Mazda of Orland Park.
Oh, yes, I am. I went to see them this week. I had to go to Oak Park, but not for weed this time. My buddy Justin picked up the Record Store Day Tori Amos record that I was looking for, but couldn't get to because of softball. So I went there and I was looking for lunch. And I've always seen this place, like throughout the years, just driving through, the Oak Park area. This is in Forest Park. It's called Parky's Hot Dogs. Now, you might not know the name, but I swear to you, you have seen this place. I'm going to show you the picture here in a second as I pause for time because I clicked the wrong thing. Cool. I'm trying to find the open image, a new tab. There we go. I found it. Francessor. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, Jay Francessor over here.
Hey, I wish I could take that money. This place you have seen. You have seen the sign of the pinky raised hand holding the Parky's hot dog. So finally went into Parky's after years and years and years of seeing it. And buddy, I wasn't sure what I was going to get. I wasn't really sure what to expect. Yeah. But I went in that place and I saw on the menu bacon cheddar dog.
No bad words.
And dog, that's what I ordered.
That looks like it split the uprights.
That was awesome. And here's the thing. I was sort of chatting with the lady at Parky's because they had to reset their credit card machine. So I was able to watch them make it. The hot dog is wrapped in bacon and put in the fryer.
Oh, yeah.
And then it is covered in melted cheddar cheese. It was absolutely phenomenal. It was phenomenal. Yes. It may have been one of the single unhealthiest things I've ever eaten in my life. But I do not care. It was so damn good. And whatever sort of visions of loveliness you want to build in your head for a bacon wrapped hot dog, or a bacon cheddar dog rather, it knocked it out of the park. It was excellent. Excellent. And their fries were good. It was kind of like a thin cut but fresh cut fry. A little bit different. Nice. I haven't had that very many places, but it was really good. Just a down and dirty, been there forever. Parky's has been there for as long as I've been alive. That's for damn sure.
Even me, who is not in the city near as much as I should be, you showed the picture and I'm like, oh yeah, I've been past there a million times.
Yes, it is. It's. I guess you would call that an institution. That sort of a place. Yes. Address 329 South Harlem in Forest Park. If you're not watching on YouTube and you're like, oh, I'll check that place out, you're going to drive by and be like, of course. I have seen this place before. Parky's Hot Dogs. I'm not revealing anything to anyone. This is a very famous place. But hot damn, the bacon cheddar dog was freaking awesome. It was so good, dude.
It looks phenomenal. And then the way you describe that they cook it, I mean, that is... How do you say no to that?
You can't.
Imagine hearing that and then going in there and ordering anything else.
That was the thing. I was looking at the menu, and then I saw it, and you may have well deleted the rest of the menu. So I'm like, well, that's what I'm getting. There's no question about it. Because I'll say this. When I go to, traditional hot dog places, sometimes I get self-conscious about I like ketchup on my hot dog. Kill me, whatever. Sure. Fine. But I don't want the whole thing. I don't want to hear it. Put the ketchup on my hot dog. I'm paying for it. I don't need a bell rung. I don't need someone to tell me that's not how we do it. I know the rules about ketchup on a hot dog. I don't care. So often when I go to a new place or a place that's been around for a long time that might have that kind of a reaction, I will not order my traditional order. And I'm very glad I didn't, because holy crap. Bacon cheddar dog, yes please. a million slices of pie on the Bob scale.
Bob scale.
It was crazy. It was so, oh, dude, it was so damn good. It was so damn good.
Now I'm like, okay, when's the next time I'm going to have an excuse to be near that area? Okay.
That's not too far from you.
No, it's really not. It's one of those where in my head, it's a lot further than it actually is.
Yeah, it's right down 290.
Yeah.
That's
so
not far.
I can definitely find my way there. I also had a wonderful hot dog of a different variety this week.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I put that up on the tee. Well, not going to win them all or any. Because I'm like, even this week, I'm like, oh, Jay's got his face thing. And then I'm laughing and I'm like leaning over and I'm like, oh yeah, the whole thinning thing really shows up when I lean over and show the top of my head.
Same. People have been taking pictures of me from behind lately, and I really don't like it because it just shows my thinning.
Yeah.
Mario posted a photo of me interviewing Anders Sorensen after the Ice Hogs game. I'm like, yep, there that is. Yeah, can't do much about it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of what it is at this point.
Yeah, tell me about your hot dog experience, so to speak.
Okay, so right. So I was hanging out with Sam. We were going over to do a little work on her townhouse in Hanover Park. And she hasn't moved in there yet, wanting to get some stuff done before she moves in. And she's like, let me find some places that I haven't been so that I can try and find some of the stuff that's going to be around my place.
Okay.
Awesome. So we try this place called Tiger Chicken. And I did not go there. She picked up the food, brought it back to her place because it was less than 5 minutes to her place. So cool. I look at the menu, and this menu is fascinating. It's like a Korean corn dog place.
Yeah. Yeah, buddy.
So Tiger Chicken is at 7452 Barrington Road in Hanover Park. So as I scroll the menu, as I'm doing it right now, smoothies of a bunch of different varieties. You have boba tea, soda aids, just like traditional pop.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, we kind of went all out in terms of trying a few different things. What stuck out to me as I scroll down to the Korean corn dogs was the potato dog.
Oh.
Oh yeah. The potato dog was wonderful. Think like a Korean corn dog. So corn dog, but instead of it being cornmeal batter, it's more of like a rice flour batter.
Okay. That's what I'm showing, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Nailed
and
it.
that is covered with like basically little nubs of French fries.
Yeah.
And then they put ketchup on it. And I know. And it's all beef hot dog. So like the quality of the dog is good. It's not just a novelty of what you can put around the dog. The quality of the dog is very good. Each bite, crunch.
Yeah.
Not like a little bit of crunch, like a significant audible crunch. So it was awesome. Like I cannot wait to go back and try some of the other varieties of the corn dogs that they have, because all I had before was just your traditional like cornmeal breading on a corn dog.
Mm-hmm.
This was next level. It was the best corn dog I have had.
Right?
So very much recommended. They have different varieties. We also got the chicken and some fries, and those. And just like the chicken, I wouldn't say like the flavor of the chicken was anything crazy or out of this world, but it was good quality chicken tenders, and you get to choose a couple sauces with it. So I know we got I believe it was, as I scroll to the sauces, the spicy soy garlic sauce.
Oh, hot damn, that sounds good.
Yeah, and that heat gets you more on. It's not as upfront. It's very much like on the back end is where it really gets to you. And it's not too much. Like you still get flavor. Like flavor is still it. And I would say it's more garlic forward than it is soy forward, which is probably why I could do it more than I thought I would have been able to. So pairing that with either your regular fries, which those fries are almost not quite as small as a like Steak and Shake fry, but it is much closer to that.
Okay.
Could they have been a little crispier? Sure, but that also could have been the transport thing.
Is it like a Pops fry? You ever have Pops?
I haven't had Pops, but like I equated it to like a Steak and Shake fry.
Okay.
So about that, maybe a little bit bigger, but still a good quality fry. And then those are the Tiger fries if you're watching on YouTube on the right. And the Tiger fries, we got them without the kimchi. Sam made the executive decision, no kimchi. She's not the biggest fan. Figured I wouldn't probably like it either.
You would hate it.
Okay. So it had cheese, jalapeno, green onion on it, and a sauce, which I think it was just like the Tiger sauce, the standard Tiger sauce. Very good fries. I mean, all those things, no bad words there. So just for like, especially for someone like me that probably needs more of an introduction than an adult should to different Asian food or Asian flavors, that's probably a good first step for me to be like, here's a corn dog done in a different way. Here are fries with a little bit different on there. Like that's probably about as safe of an introduction as I could have had. And obviously I didn't even really choose something that was that out there in terms of what it actually was. But especially if you're more adventurous than I have been to this point, there's something there for you. There is the boba tea. There's smoothies. Like they have a lot of stuff there. Jay, the hot Cheeto dog is there.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds
lovely. If you're in ye old Western Burbs, Tiger Chicken, 7452 Barrington Road in Hanover Park. That's definitely worth a look.
Hell yeah. All right. I will try that. And yeah, like, dude, it's been a good week for us. Like, there's been a lot of stuff we've tried. And like I said earlier, I've been driving all over town. Oak Park, went to Rockford on Friday, and was driving my Mazda CX-30 all the way to Rockford, all the way back. Loving my drive out there. It was great. Went to visit the guys in the showroom. Had to get a little bit of work done on the car this week, just your general maintenance stuff. And they got me in quick, got me out quick. They're like, hey, we'll give you a loaner to use so we can work on the car. And they're like, oh, you know what? Actually, we can get it done right now. Can you hang out for 15 minutes? Like, sure. Got it done. Awesome. So got to hang out with my buddy Eric Vates. He's the guy that runs Mazda of Orland Park. And if you're looking for a Mazda, give him a call. 708-444-3200, 8910 West 159th Street in Orland Park is where you'll find him. MazdaofOrlandPark.com is the website. I drive a 2022 CX-30 and a 2015 CX-5. I love them both. The CX-5 isn't getting the softball miles because it's got the bigger trunk for all of this shit we have to lug with us. We've got a wagon, 2 buckets of balls, a big equipment bag. Like, we're giving that car a workout. Went to Bedford Park today. More on that next. But man, it was
the Village of Bedford Park.
The Village of Bedford Park, you know it. But man, just I love my cars, and part of the reason I love the cars is not only because they're great and super reliable and affordable, but because of the experience I've had as an owner from Mazda of Orland Park. It's outstanding. Couldn't recommend them more, so check them out, MazdaofOrlandPark.com. So today we had a travel game. So 10 a.m. in Bedford Park, and I think like as soon as the schedule came out, we're going to Chuck's that day. So we go out to Bedford Park, make quick work of the blast. Thanks, Bedford Blast. Thanks for the hospitality, W.
Did you bring you brought your business to Bedford Park?
Yes. With the funny thing, I kind of felt bad. So for those that don't know, I went to St. Lawrence High School in Burbank, Illinois, if you're not listening in Illinois. And it's very close to the Argo corn plant where they process high fructose corn syrup and like everything. It's not the best smell. It's just, it's not a good smell, and it's ever present. And Bedford Park has a corn plant right nearby to it. Might actually be the same one. So we get there and the girls are like, ugh, what is that smell? I'm like, can we not make fun of the town we're in? Like, they're probably a little self-conscious about the smell of their town. Like, let's
at least wait till you're out of town limits before you start.
Let's not make a big deal out of it, right? So I had to have that talk with them. But, they're receptive. Like, good point. We won't do that anymore. So anyway, win the game. Great. And we head over to Chuck's. dude, I was thinking about it. I can't remember the last time I was at Chuck's. I think at some point during the pandemic we went, maybe once, but it's just since we've moved to Homewood, it's not like the most convenient place to go for us. So when we're out that way, we make a point of it. And dude, I had forgotten how good Chuck's is. And if you've never been to Chuck's Southern Comforts Cafe, there's one in Burbank. That's the one I went to. And there's another one in Darien on Cass Avenue. And it gets like, for those that don't know it, they think it's a barbecue place. But it is, it's so much more than that. It is so much more than that. Chuck, the chef and owner, was the sous chef for Rick Bayless, who is Frontera, Shoko, like all of those great Chicago, Mexican food institutions. So Chuck learned from him. There's also a huge Cajun influence at Chuck's. Like, if you've never been and you're from the South Side, like, or just visiting, go to Chuck's. Like, seriously.
I brought it up. I think I've brought it up to Sam multiple times of someday I'm taking you to Darien. We are going to Chuck's. And she's just like, okay, twist my arm.
Yeah. Well, let us know.
Good sounding food. Yes, please.
Hope's mom lives like literally like on the other side of the frontage road from Chuck's.
Oh, okay.
So we're there all the time. So I didn't know what I wanted. There's three things that are my staples at Chuck's. Number one is the Cochinita Pibil, which is the one thing that I could like say I might like more than Rosangela's. I don't know if I would say more, maybe as much as Rosangela's, but that's Saturdays only. So today, obviously being Sunday when we record. Second thing is the barbecue nachos, which is a big ass plate covered in cheese, barbecue sauce, and pulled pork, and scallions and like all the stuff you want on your nachos. And the third is the jambalaya.
Yep.
And buddy,
that's my go-to.
After being outside in 45-degree rain, snow, we had every element today during our softball game. I got the jambalaya.
Yeah, buddy.
And I said to Hope, Hope's got the allergy. I go, you know what, honey, I love you, but I'm getting the shrimp. Dude, it was.
Yeah, dude, that jambalaya is unreal.
So if you're watching on YouTube, you see the plate is literally as covered as it can be. You've got the beautifully prepared rice. There's andouille sausage. There's the blackened grilled chicken on top. And then there were probably like 8 to 10 shrimp like scattered throughout. It was exactly what I wanted. Exactly what I wanted. I was so glad I got it. I was still full at dinner. It was just killer. It is absolutely amazing. Okay, so then Addie got Chuck's version of Popeye's chicken sandwich. It's called the Cajun chicken or the Cajun battered chicken sandwich.
Okay.
So it's brioche bun, big fried buttermilk patty with Cajun seasoning and like a Cajun-y mayo, like a spicy mayo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like mayo. I took a bite and got a full bite of mayo. I'm like, that was good. There was no regret for it at all. I think the Cajun mayo is part of what makes it a little spicier. But damn, that was absolutely great. And then Hope got I know it's a salad, but it's a tostada salad where they literally like prepare a chicken tostada and then like put it on top of a salad. And I didn't have any of it, but if you look at the picture, it's basically just dumping a Mexican meal on top of a salad. So it's like a bed of lettuce to keep the stuff fresh. I don't know. But she loved it too. Everything at Chuck's is so good. I know they used to be sponsors of ours, but man, like we wouldn't steer you wrong. Chuck's is amazing. Let's go back and review the jambalaya again, shall we? I mean,
yes.
Just look at that plate. It's just excellent. And like the rice is like a little bit sticky, but not too sticky.
Yes.
And the andouille is like really like kind of diced. So you're always getting like a little bit of the andouille sausage in there. Big old shrimp, big old strips of chicken. Oh,
that's maybe my favorite part about it is because with so much of that could be, okay, you only get this bites this element, this bites this element. No, with the way they lay that out, you get a bite. Yeah. Every time you get that full bite. I got to tell because we haven't really talked in depth about Chuck's in a while. I'm sure I've mentioned it before on the podcast. I have to tell my favorite Doug and OB story from being on the road with them because it happened at Chuck's in Darien, where I don't remember. No, I do remember the game. The Bears were in, I think, St. Louis taking on the Rams. This is how long ago it was. And it was a game where I think Tavon Austin had like a really stupid long touchdown. So Chuck's had basically one of their catering rooms they had open to us. People bought tickets and they could be there for the pregame show, during the game, and the postgame show. So for one thing, everything they served at breakfast was unreal.
Yes.
Like the crepes, the
Chuck's
beignets
is insane.
The beignets.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Just amazing. So for a private spot for Doug and OB to be able to watch the game so that, people aren't coming up to them throughout the entire thing, we're in the bridal suite. So it's Doug, OB, and me in a bridal suite with like a small-ish TV watching this game. And Doug is on like the Chase lounge thing. OB's in like more of a proper chair. I'm sitting on the other end of like the Chase lounge thing with Doug. So Bears lose. We're getting up to go out there for post game. Doug needed a little bit of help getting out of that thing because it was set pretty low to the ground. Yeah. So he's trying to slide off of this thing, and the foot on the Chase lounge gives.
Oh my God.
And it's not like Doug was fat.
No, not at all.
It was just man. Just like the way he was moving on that thing and whatever, it collapsed. So, and OB always gives Doug shit because of either how much he'll eat or the fact that he would eat desserts even with diabetes and whatever. And just, yeah, exactly. Like everybody feels seen. And OB would just always give him hell about it. And he knew Doug would be slightly, he would be slightly self-conscious about it, but whatever. So we go out, and on the way back out to start the post-game show, we see, I forget if it was the manager or the owner, and Doug, and Doug has restaurant experience all throughout Chicago. So he comes out, he's like, this place is phenomenal. All the food was fantastic, which it was. They were raving about the food the entire time. And then OB pops his head in. He's like, he's buttering you up to tell you he broke your fucking chair.
That's awesome.
And he called him a fucking moron in front of the guy. It was the most perfect Doug and OB thing possible.
Oh,
we
God.
were like a wreck the whole first segment because we were, sometimes after those, it's like, okay, I got to get you out there. We need to start now.
Yeah.
And so they sit down and they're just putting their headphones on and the highlights are almost ending for the open. And they're just dying when they go on air. It was so perfectly Doug and OB.
That's awesome. God, I miss that dude.
Me too.
He's the best.
Yeah,
I always loved we would watch games with him, and he would have a Diet Coke can of Diet Coke, and then another Diet Coke can of dip spit, and for a while he had a Diet Coke can full of ashes.
Oh, okay.
And once per game, he would drink the wrong cup.
Yep.
God damn it. Doug, maybe get different.
I remember he did that once when I was watching the game with him, OB, and Matt Bowen. And me and Bowen were dying at this.
It's like, are you doing this on purpose at this point, Doug?
Seriously.
It's happening too often.
He had to have been. Oh, man. God, I love that guy. That was actually 10 days ago was the anniversary of his death.
Oh, man. I have my row of dead people up here in my office. Friends of parents of my friends and my sister and my grandpa, and Doug is like front and center on there. Yeah. So it's always like just thinking. I think about the guy all the time. Like seriously, now that I work. It sounds
like we just say that. It's I don't know if platitude's the right word, but it's legit, man.
Him and Terry are in that. Yep. Are in that Terry Boers, they're in that stratosphere where everyone loves them sincerely.
Yes.
Like when Doug passed away, it was one of the worst days I've had in a long time. Like
I cried into Victoria's Secret. You know how weird that had to be to see
Rick's picking up panties. Just drying his tears with a thong. I need something. Do you have more of a granny panty? I'm really upset. Doug would laugh at that joke, by the way. And it made me punch me. Anyway, miss that dude a lot. But that's a great story. Yes. And I swear, like every game, there's a story equally as great. And that's what made it so fun. So, all right.
100%.
More driving.
Yes.
I'm going to save talking about Beef-a-Roo until Ask a Fat, because we got like 70 emails about Beef-a-Roo. We're not going to read them all, I promise, but I'll give my thoughts then. So Friday, Rockford started their series against the Texas Stars, and I'm literally going by myself. Me and Greg and Mario from CHGO are going to meet out there. I got my backpack on, put my shoes on, and Addie's like, can I go with you? I'm like, I don't have anywhere to put you. Like, I'll be in it's not a press box there. It's a row with a table. But I'm like, in hopes like, well, what if I came? Would that work? I go, yeah, let's go. So like on a whim, the three of us jump in a car and head to Rockford. So we're driving there, like probably around Naperville. I go, we're making good time. We should see if we can see the Rockford Peaches Stadium. So we're like, yeah, check it out. So it's this place called Beyer Stadium. Beyer or Breyer? One of the two, whatever. Just Google it. And we're like, okay, here it is. Let's find it. So we drive up. There's no one there. It's like attached like this child care center. Not attached, but like next to. So we park in that lot, which is empty. Get out of the car. We're on the field. We're in the dugout. It was freaking magical. It was so cool. If you're ever in Rockford, just a little side note, take a half hour to visit the Rockford Peaches Stadium, because it still looks like, I'm sure it's been renovated and they've replaced the wood and stuff, but like you really feel like you're sitting in a time warp. Like it's, if anyone's gone to Field of Dreams, it's probably kind of the same vibe. But I have pictures of Addie standing on the mound. I have pictures of her running the bases. Like it was really, really cool and really magical. And for a 12-year-old to be impressed, like
that takes a lot.
It's really hard to do. And she was like, I'm really glad we did that. That was really cool. It was awesome. So that's a little sidebar. But then we go to the game, and Mike from the Ice Hogs hooked Hope and Addie up with some nice tickets, like 9 rows behind the goal. And then for the second period, they came up and hung out like near the press area. And Addie, she's my pride and joy, man, she got herself a big pretzel. And she's like, Dad, I got a fat hack for you. So, like, how could you fat hack a pretzel? Right. So I'm showing you the picture here. She has literally dug a hole with her finger in the chewy pretzel.
Okay.
And is dumping cheese into the reservoir of said pretzel. So she's making herself basically a homemade gnarly knot.
Yes.
And she look like you can just see like she is very serious about it. Very focused on it. And she's like, look at this fat hack I came up with. So that she redeemed herself for being excited about her salad at school.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I was proud. Yeah, it was a good moment. So yeah, but man, I kind of like I've liked my 2 trips to Rockford.
Okay.
More on Beef-a-Roo in a little bit, but I feel like it's a place where it's like worth a day trip.
Yes.
I know there's like a lot of art. There's good restaurants. There's, maybe not you don't need to spend multiple days there, but it's historic. And there's parts of there you drive through. It's like, is it 1950? Like some of the old storefronts. And it's a cool town. Very similar. I said last time, very similar to Joliet, very similar to Kankakee in that way, where it's just kind of like, I feel like I'm in a different time and place here.
Yes.
In a good way. I'm not mocking it. It's just
no. Yeah. I know. Sorry, Kankakee made me think of a Terry story. So
okay. I'll save that for next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good trip. So but definitely check out the Rockford Peaches Stadium. It's just a ballpark, and then like around it, there's this walkway, and they've got little historical markers, and I guess there's a whole Peaches Trail you can do like a little tour that just guides you through town. Like, here's where they stayed, here's where they hung out. And then there's also like an element from the new TV show that came out last year, some of the filming spots they did there. So
that's cool.
It was cool. Like, we're big into that. Like, Addie's so into softball, so we watch the League of Their Own multiple times a year. Hope and I really enjoyed the TV series. So it was cool to be there. That's the thing for me. Like, I'm not so big on, I don't know. I like being where it happened. I think that's like at this spot, this cool thing happened. I've always loved doing those sort of things. Like, that's why I love going to Boston. Because, like, oh, there's Paul Revere's house. Right here is this spot, is where this happened. Like, I love stuff like that. So to be on that field and in that dugout was very, especially since, I don't know if I told it on this show before, my wife's grandma, Cookie, who's 101, actually made a team in the All-American Girls Baseball League. She was going to be on the Chicago Colleens and triggered. And her mom said that she can't play because ladies don't ride buses. So Grandma Cookie could have been in that league and played against the Peaches and never had the opportunity. So it's a little bit close to the family in that way too. So
sure,
we're going to probably take Cookie out there this summer just to see it. So
that's okay,
yeah, she
really
tried
cool.
out on Wrigley. She made a team, and just her mother said no. So
yeah, to your point about like going to those places,
yeah.
Whether it's a figment of the mind or whatever, I don't particularly care. There is a mystique about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, especially a place like that where it seems so well historically preserved.
Yeah.
Like, even, and this is not like a dig at Wrigley or anything, but like necessary improvements were made that make it better for current use, but also make it slightly less of the historic thing that it's been. It's still a vast majority of that, but, you know, things that need to happen that, mind you, I'm sure we both agree with happening.
Yeah.
Needed to happen, but it takes away a little bit from the like historic feel of it.
You know what's the one thing, and like, I welcome renovations because renovations equal revenue, equal winning, allegedly. The one thing
they don't equal biblical losses.
No, not biblical losses. Oh God, hey,
That's
they've been better than expected, so I'll take it and run. But the fact that those new scoreboards have dwarfed the old ones so much,
yeah,
like when it was just that scoreboard, that thing felt like the biggest scoreboard in the world. And now you've got two, and because of their proximity to the crowd, they seem so much bigger. They're not. But because they're so much closer to most of the fans than the main scoreboard, than the manual scoreboard is so like insignificant now, which is kind of a bummer. That's like the one thing. It's kind of like, I wish that had kind of somehow remained, but whatever. They won a World Series. I'll never complain.
Yes.
So
a little less mystique. I went to the Jewels this week.
I went to Magic Camp with less mystique. He failed out.
And so I was, I had my list of things I needed to get, and then I was hoping to find something for the podcast, and I did. We'll get to that in a second. But you know how like every Jewel, really every store, they have their clearance section.
Yeah.
Which is much more of an iffy thing at like a grocery store to be looking at. However, I don't know how often they do this. Clearly the like candy, I'm assuming like the candy by the checkouts and all that stuff had been gone through and maybe rotated out, because to my joy, when I look on the shelves on the little like basically end cap of clearance, I saw a treasure trove of Rolos.
Wait.
Regular Rolos,
not
like weird variety Rolos that are only there for a limited time. Traditional Rolos, 89 cents a pop.
Ooh.
I loaded up.
Hell yeah, you were load up.
I got $10 worth of Rolos. And
they're gone.
The looks I got, yes.
Yeah.
And the looks I got from people where it's like, I have responsible things. Here's a case of water. Here's some toilet paper. Here's sandwich bags. Here is $10 of Rolos.
Yeah.
One of these things is not like the other, but maybe, and I don't know how they do this, if this is store to store, if they search certain departments to cycle through at certain times, if that's more broad scope. So it might be worth looking at your Jewel clearance to see if because there was also some icebreakers that I like the
the mints.
It was like berry icebreakers, like I think it was like sour strawberry or something. Actually, by the way, did you see the TikTok thing this week about like putting your strawberries in salted water?
No, but berry icebreakers taught me how to drive a Zamboni. Sorry.
Fair.
I'm done.
It's just like if you put strawberries in salted water, all the dirt comes out and all the bugs come out.
No, I don't want to know that.
Okay, well then I definitely didn't just say that. So I'll just get to the other thing I found at the Jewels. The strawberry made me think of that though.
Okay.
Going through the aisles, and what do I see? Then something that had been featured on the fan page. So I said, let's get this and give it a shot for a live taste test. Kaz bars from Hostess.
They look good.
Yeah, like it looks like it's essentially like a brownie sandwich with caramel and like icing in the middle.
Okay.
So I have yet to have these. Have been in my condo for a couple days, and they have not been touched because I wanted to do this taste test live.
All right, I'm putting you on the big screen for this so we can see them.
Okay.
All right, you're up.
So take this thing out of the packaging. And it almost looks like a Tim Tam in a way.
It does a little bit. Now, give me a squish. Is it firm? Is it squishy?
It's somewhere in between.
Okay.
The inside is definitely much more squishy, but the chocolate gives it some structure.
Okay.
So let's take a bite. There's not going to be much ASMR on this.
No,
Sorry.
It looks soft. All right.
Oh.
Is it marshmallow?
I think it's just like the fill, just like the icing, like the filling for.
Give me a full frontal. Is there
There
a
you
cookie
go.
element to that at the bottom?
I'm sorry?
Is there like a cookie element to that at the bottom, or is it just?
It's more brownie-ish, but there is a little bit of a crunch in there. There is something that is a little crunchy, just to give it some texture, which I appreciate.
All right, that looks really solid.
This is a strong recommend.
Okay.
Because I think if it didn't have the caramel to give a little bit of a different flavor profile, it'd probably be a little too much. But the caramel, like, gives it that little bit of gives it a little bit of tail on the fastball instead of just being like 102 that's straight.
Yeah.
So this is very good.
All right. I'll look for those.
Highly recommended.
All right. That sounds good. You know what else sounds good, Rick? Frato's Culinary Kitchen in Schaumburg, 628 South Roselle Road. FratosPizza.com, FratosBakery.com. If you're into food porn, and if you're listening to this podcast, I'm assuming you are, follow them at Fratos Pizza on Instagram, and you'll see everything they've got to offer, including the I'm Fat Burger, the I'm Fat Grilled Cheese, the I'm Fat Pizza. Those, of course, are wonderful. They started off as promotional items, and now they are permanent menu items. That's how damn good and how damn popular they are. Go get yourself one of those. Try their giant mozzarella sticks. Try the Cajun bites. Try everything, because everything Fratos touches turns to gold. Mother's Day is approaching. I don't have a specific deal yet. I will get one this week, but I'm telling you right now, go to FratosBakery.com, take a look at the things at Fratos Bakery, and get an order ready for Mother's Day. You will be the goddamn champion of Mother's Day if you surprise your mom or your wife with some bakery items from Fratos. That's FratosBakery.com. If you want to try FratosPizza.com, and we appreciate if you would, use the promo code I'm Fat. You'll save 10% on your online order every time you eat at Fratos. Promo code I'm Fat at FratosPizza.com. Again, 628 South Roselle Road in Schaumburg. They are absolutely phenomenal. I cannot give enough credit and platitudes to Fratos because they are just absolutely wonderful. You will love them. So use that code I'm fat. That's a good way to let them know you heard about them on the I'm Fat podcast. Use that code and they know you're listening. So we would appreciate that as well. Here's a thing before we get to Ask a Fat.
Okay.
Went to B-Dubs this week on Taylor Street. Canal, whatever it is. It's in the city, Taylor Street, like just east of the highway. So park my car at a meter, pay the Park Chicago app as you do. It's $5 to park in that particular spot. I'm like, whatever, fine. I got an hour to kill. I'm down here early. I'm going to watch, I think the Cubs were on or something was on that I was going to watch. So walk in. All of the chairs are on top of the tables. This is like noon, 12:30.
Oh.
The woman walks up and goes, "No one showed up to work today. So we're only doing to-go orders." I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll eat in my car.
Wow.
I go, I'm going to do the 5 tenders and a side of wedges. And she goes, that'll be 25 minutes. Like, what?
25 American minutes?
Yes, 25 minutes to deep fry some wedges and tenders. I'm like, no, I'm not having this then. I'll just go somewhere else. I go, it really sucks because I just paid $5 to park here.
Yeah.
And you're really, it's going to take seriously 20 minutes as I sit here for you to throw some crap in it. I tell you, there's that Buffalo Wild Wings Go on Sealy, like Damon and Sealy by the hospitals. Walk in there, order, I'm out in 5 minutes, 6 minutes. It's the same food. I don't know. That rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know if maybe it's poorly managed and the workers were like, F this, we're not showing up anymore.
Right.
But
Was there like, I could maybe see there at least like being hesitation and giving yourself some buffer on a time if you are literally the only person in there and that's not normally your jam?
Yeah, I was the only person in there.
That's insane.
Or, no, actually, in fairness, there's one lady, but she had her order and was leaving.
Okay.
And I'm sure, like, at that part in the city, they maybe fill some bigger orders because people send group orders for lunch, whatever. But still.
Yeah.
Like,
that's rough.
I don't know, man. Like, I really like B-Dubs. I do. Like, it's one of, it's as far as, like, fast food goes, it's one of my favorite places, but
Bourbon, that one is not.
No. That's the thing, man. Like, here's what I want. And this is what we talk about why Culver's is so great. Because I know when I go into Culver's, exactly what I'm going to get.
Yep.
It's going to be the same experience every time. I'm not going to be like, oh, this time I ordered chicken tenders and they were tiny. And this time I ordered them and they were huge. B-Dubs, if you go on like buy one, get one day, you're getting like little freaking like nubs of chicken.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they're cutting corners, they're cutting quality, and the prices are astronomical. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
it really is.
If it's not a promotional day, like a buy one, get one, I don't even go. Because it's like,
no, I'm
not going to drop $20 on 5 chicken tenders and fries. Like, that's just stupid. So it's frustrating, man. I don't like to, I understand like things happen and I'm not mad at the employees, but whatever's going on at that B-Dubs on Taylor, like figure it out. Like you have no employees show up. That's not a laziness thing. That's like something is mismanaged thing.
Yeah, 100%. And actually, to your point on Culver's too, just a side note on that with the smokehouse barbecue cheddar sandwich or burger or whatever.
Yep.
This week, one had it again, still awesome. Two, like our guy Russ was like, hey, the bun wasn't that great for me. He wasn't dissing the place or anything like that. Just like, hey, and we were like, yeah, it might have just been, bad luck of experience. Their Twitter account, like almost immediately reached out and was like, essentially like, hey, what happened? How can we rectify
Yeah,
this?
tell
us
more. Yeah.
That's cool. Like even if like, hey, things happen, especially in like fast food when things are mass produced, something can happen. And you know what? It's whatever. It happens from time to time. Sucks when it happens to you, but the odds just say it's probably going to happen at some point. The fact that they're so quick to be like, hey, what happened? Help us make things better, blah, blah, blah. If nothing else, it gives off a good PR thing to do.
And here's the thing, and I've never run a restaurant before, so I'm not going to pretend to be an expert, and maybe I'm way off on this, but like, I see places where they're clearly understaffed.
Yes.
And then customers aren't happy. The food is not right because people are overworked, or it's like it's been sitting out too long, or it's overcooked, or whatever, because everyone's stretched too thin. I go into a Culver's and I see a bustling kitchen. I see several people greeting you at the register. I see several people bringing food out to people. It's efficient. It's always got people at it. There's always people eating there. There's always people satisfied with their experience. It's like chicken or egg, right? Like if I walk into a place and I'm going to get decent service and decent food at a decent price, at decent speed and consistent quality, I'm going to go there more often. Like I don't know. It's just, I feel like so many places have been like, well, the economy is bad, so we're going to lay people off, and well, no one's coming here anymore. No one's coming anymore because you're kind of screwing the pooch service-wise.
Yes.
That's why. So anyway, I don't know. It bummed me out. I was kind of like, it was one of those days where I couldn't really figure out what I wanted to eat.
Sure.
And I was like, I'll just go here. I think it was Thursday, so it's the buy one, get one boneless day. So I'm like,
You were
whatever.
looking for high floor, low, not necessarily looking for ceiling.
Yeah, and I needed somewhere to sit so I could watch. I must have been to cut whatever it was. Something was on that I wanted to watch sports wise, and like no one showed up. You can place an order to go, but it'll be 25 minutes. Like okay, well, f that. Speaking of the Culver's burger, and Ascafat here, we've got an update from our Culver's insider.
Oh,
Bless me, Father, for I've sinned. It's been 1 week since my last confession.
Okay, my son. What is your confession?
I'm fat.
Ask a Fat, as always, is brought to you by our buddy Charlie the Bacon Guy, and here he is with this week's brand new, spanking new Bacon Report.
Thanks, Jay. This week we have maple pepper, Cajun, and giardiniera bacon. Bacon jams are the original, the bourbon, the mango habanero, and the habanero honey. I am going to make a pineapple bacon jam by the end of the week.
Yep.
Per somebody's request.
Would eat.
Speaking of requests, any bacon flavor that I've made over the last 3 years now will be available to you whenever you want it. If I don't have it made, give me about 10 to 14 days to get it ready for you. I'm happy to do that. But if you want 1 pound of ranch bacon or buffalo bacon, I will make it for you. It's no problem whatsoever, and the leftovers will be available ready on hand for whenever you need it. So when you're placing an order, always ask if there's anything ready so you don't have to wait. But typically, start to finish process for me is about 10 to 14 days for bacon. So any of the flavors that I've made in the past, jalapeno garlic, Korean barbecue, buffalo, ranch, you know them all, they can be available. Just keep following up on our social medias and always be listening to the podcast to see what we've got. That's it for now. For the Bacon Report, I'm Charlie the Bacon Guy.
I cannot stress enough how great the ranch bacon is.
no.
And I'm not the world's biggest ranch guy, but if you want like a perfect bacon for like a sandwich or a burger, like we made BLTs with those. Oh my God, the ranch bacon's killer. The jalapeno garlic was a special edition I'm Fat podcast bacon that was absolutely great. It's all so damn good. If you've not ordered from Charlie yet, I promise you, you will not regret it. You don't know what you're missing. Here's how to get in touch. Charlie the Bacon Guy at gmail.com, at Charlie the Bacon Guy on Instagram, and you're going to want to follow that too to see the process of how it's made and everything, and at CZ the Bacon Guy on Twitter. Get in touch with Charlie. Tell him what you want. Even if you say, hey, I'm not really sure what I want. Here's what I like. This is what I use my bacon for. This is what I eat it with. He'll get in touch with you. He'll recommend. Maybe he'll send you a sampler pack. He's done that before. He will make it work for you. Support a small business. Support an independent business. Support our buddy Charlie the Bacon Guy and get yourself some damn bacon. Charlie the Bacon Guy at gmail.com, at CZ the Bacon Guy on Instagram. On Twitter, and at Charlie the Bacon Guy on Instagram. All right, we've got one voicemail today. If you want to leave us one, the number is 708-858-3314. A new voice on the I'm Fat podcast today.
Nice.
Hey, Fats. Jay from Toronto here. Listen to the podcast every week. Best best podcast out there. I can't remember if you talked about this before, but my 9-year-old daughter Stephanie bought me as part of my birthday cake today a Twinkie and put a candle in it. When I tasted the Twinkie, it was so dry. When did Hostess change the recipe? Definitely not the Twinkies I remember. What are your thoughts if you've tried one recently? If they changed the recipe on us? Thanks, guys.
First of all, I love Canadian accents. It's one of my favorite things.
That made my day.
That was awesome. Happy birthday. Yes. Also, assuming he's a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, congratulations. That was freaking huge. I mean, that team is so good. And for them to finally slay that dragon of Tampa Bay is so huge for them. I'm happy for them. I know a lot of people hate the Leafs. I do not hate the Leafs. I think hockey's better when they're really good. And congrats to the Leafs. That's awesome. So I hope you enjoyed that too. But yes, the Twinkie thing is absolutely true. Like, it is not as moist as it used to be. It is almost like mealy a little bit. Something has changed. And I think it has to do with like trans fats or whatever, or they could be cutting costs, which a lot of companies do. It's not the same. And the problem with that is, like, if you think the ho-ho has gone down in quality, you can get a Swiss cake roll from Little Debbie. There's no real Twinkie replacement. Zingers are
they're fine.
They're a little bit close, but not. I find that Zingers are a bit inconsistent.
And the icing on top is like it's not good.
Oh, I disagree.
It's not decent. Well, it's not good quality. Where it's like that can almost feel. I don't know if grainy or mealy is the term. Yeah,
you just take that whole thing off. You just remove the entire frosting thing. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
one fell swoop.
No, I like Zingers, but yeah, I wish there was a better alternative. Now I know that Little Debbie has like a strawberry shortcake cake.
Yes.
Which is yellow, but it's not a Twinkie.
Right.
it's close-ish. But yeah, no, I think it is absolutely definitely changed and for the worse. But hey, they must have done they must have ran the numbers and said, if we do this, it'll be fine. I don't know. Okay,
quick basketball person asking hockey person, probably a dumb question.
Yep.
Is Tampa just like past their prime? This was not that huge of an upset by Toronto, or was this a pretty big upset? Or is Toronto just really good and their past sucks?
It's an upset because, like, if you were to remove the laundry, and just say like this team versus this team, the Leafs should have been the favorites. But they have like the longest cupless streak, I guess is a way to say it. They've struggled to get out of the first round. Tampa beat them last year, and they always seem to lose in the most painful way possible, the Leafs. So for them to like get over this hump is significant. The Lightning are not as great as they were when they won consecutive cups, but they're still one of the 2 or 3 best teams in the Eastern Conference. Like, it'd be like saying, are the Golden State Warriors still the Warriors? Like, yes, but not like quite the strength they used to be. But if they won the championship, you'd be like, yeah, that tracks, right?
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't be a huge shock.
Look at you, Captain Basketball.
I know stuff sometimes. So yeah, I think that would be the comp. Would be like the Warriors were not like historically great anymore, but still very, very good and very, very dangerous with a lot of star power. Like, they're so deep. But so for Toronto to win that series is huge. Nice. So anyway, that's for a different podcast. CHGO Blackhawks tomorrow at 2. Or today at 2 if you're listening on Monday morning. All right, we've got several emails, including one about hockey and basketball.
Ask a fat about this and that. It's time to chat with the fats.
Our first email comes from our long-lost pal, Ramblin' Grimace. He says, so Jay works for the Blackhawks, but I don't work for the Blackhawks, but I talk about the Blackhawks for a living, while Rick is heavily invested in basketball. This time of the year involves both sports being in the playoffs, so how often do the two of you debate which sport is superior, and can we be treated to such a debate? We don't.
No, we don't.
Rick and I talk about sports very rarely because We both work in sports and we enjoy not talking about it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm also not, I used to be kind of a please like my sport kind of a guy, but like what you like. If you're into hockey, be into hockey. If you're into basketball, be into basketball. That's
playoff wise. I'll always say like the first round of the NHL playoffs are better, will always be better than the first round of the basketball playoffs, just because the nature of the sport lends itself to more parity
and randomness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Parity, randomness to where, but for me, when you hit that second round of the basketball playoffs in a vast majority of years, man, it's tough to beat because like that game one, even though it was ended up being a blowout of Nuggets Suns, high quality basketball, shot making, like everybody into it, like it was, the intensity was up. It was great theater.
My favorite part of basketball is how the last minute takes 12.
Yeah, well, to be fair, they've gotten it down to about 10.
All right,
so
okay.
they've limited the amount of timeouts you can have under 3 minutes.
Okay, good.
So that helps a little bit. Now there's just reviews.
That was for Grimace. I got my shot in for you. There you go.
Yeah.
There was our argument.
That's fair.
All right.
The next one's from Brian. It said, gentlemen, Brian from Glendale Heights checking in. Wanted to bring up a couple quick notes. One, I wanted to back up Rick's experience a few weeks ago at the Woodfield JC Sweaties. I was there a couple of weeks ago as well, and it was hot as hell in there. Why make it uncomfortable for people to stick around and, buy things? Dude, I'm telling you, I've never been in an apartment store that is not outwardly saying something is wrong, bear with us, and have it be that hot. It was unreal.
For you to describe the level of sweat you had, that's definitely not just you being fat.
Like these sides here on my hair were like drenched, like to where it's like you run your hand through it and then you see exactly where your hands ran through it.
Yeah, I know exactly.
I was that level of sweaty. Yeah. Okay. 2 from Brian.
Yes.
For Jay.
Yes.
Being a new bird enthusiast, there is a store on Ogden Avenue in Lisle called Wild Birds Unlimited. It's also a softball team. They will have all your bird feeding needs. It'd be a good little road trip as you can then hit Boss Dogs down the street on Route 53, 5 minutes from there.
Rick, I had Boss Dogs, right? That's
I think you did.
And they've got like the cool tapper.
Yes,
I did have Boss Dogs. I have been to Wild Birds Unlimited. I've been to the one in Indiana, which is much closer to me. I am becoming a bird guy. It's weird. So I bought this week. Do you know what a squirrel baffle is, Rick?
A squirrel baffle?
Yes, a squirrel baffle.
No, but it sounds like a minor league baseball team.
So if you ever seen,
they play the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah, have you ever seen like a shepherd's hook that like hangs a birdhouse on it? It's like a cone.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
So the cone keeps the squirrels from climbing the pole and stealing all the bird seed.
So you're saying it keeps them baffled?
It keeps them baffled. Exactly. So the problem is I have like one of the tube feeders with like little holes and birds perch, and that's not a squirrel problem. The squirrel sits underneath that one and just waits for all the food to fall. Fine. I don't care about that. But then I bought one that's like a house and it has like a lid so I can fill it. And then the squirrels are climbing it and like literally dumping it out. And I was going through seed like crazy. So I bought squirrel baffles for my 2 shepherd's hooks. I also bought, it hasn't arrived yet, it's coming from Belgium for some reason, a bird feeder that has like a weight activated like little ring on the bottom. So if a squirrel grabs it, it literally like flings the squirrel off.
Oh, I've seen those.
Yeah,
yes.
So I have that coming too. So that one's going to be on the non-baffled shepherd's hook just for entertainment purposes.
Jesus, you are aging right before my eyes.
I don't even care. Like it makes me feel relaxed. Like I get up in the morning, I go outside, I pour a cup of coffee, I get my yogurt and my granola, and I just sit and I watch the birds. And I've got this Merlin bird app, which I can take a picture of a bird and it will like identify the bird and you can like mark where you saw it. And it tells you all this information about the bird. You can like,
is it so? It's like Bird Pokemon Go.
It is kind of like Bird Pokemon Go. Yes. But today I was out with the dog in our yard and a blue jay landed. I'm like scrambling to get my phone. Like I got to mark that I saw a blue jay and it flew away. So
okay, so it's part Pokemon Go, part Untapped.
Yes. Yes, that's a perfect description for it. But yeah, I don't care. I don't even care. I'm 45. I need whatever I need for my mental health, and my bird feeders have been fun. I enjoy them. So yeah, it makes me feel at peace to sit back there and watch those birds enjoy that. Yes. I feel like I'm doing something good, Okay, sorry.
Yeah. No, do you?
Yeah.
Number 3 from Brian. I'll just still ridicule you for it. Seen this week at my local 7-Eleven, Doritos Tangy Ketchup and Doritos Hot Mustard.
Pass on both.
Agreed. And the last item, I think we got to this, or did we not? And I'm an idiot. He says, did you see the Bojangles news? It was reported that they will be entering the Chicago area, though, within 3 years.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if we actually did it on the show.
This is proof that, like, after the show is over, we don't remember anything we talked about. But I am going to be dreaming of Bowberries in my mouth until Bojangles is here.
Normal, Mount Vernon, and Marion, Illinois.
Oh.
I mean, you go to NIU, you'll be in Normal every now and again.
That's Illinois State.
Oh yeah, shit. Sorry. Yeah. It's kind of a weird trio of cities to choose.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, if they do well, we'll get more. How about that?
Cool.
All right. Yeah, I'm out on those Doritos though.
Yes, 100%.
Okay. Next up, I had a ton of people write me about Beef-a-Roo. So I'm going to just kind of jump through them. Brett in Beloit says, I'm from the Rockford area and know about Beef-a-Roo. Dan Bernstein summarized it well when he said it was like Arby's idealized. They have hot roast beef sandwiches, burgers, and breaded chicken sandwiches and strips, among other things. I would recommend the beef and cheddar fries. He also says he tried the spicy chicken Culver Smokehouse barbecue sandwich and it was excellent. So there you go. Now we have one from, what's the name? Oh, from James here. It says Uncle Nick's, where we talked about last week, is definitely a Rockford thing, and you should probably. I'm probably the first person to eat it while sober. Fair enough. He says Beef-a-Roo isn't necessarily similar to Arby's. They do have roast beef. They do have burgers and wraps. Most Rockfordians order the cheddar fries. They also have really good chili and milkshakes. Okay, and recommend some other Rockford places. So I would say my Beef-a-Roo experience was, I liked it. I just don't get why it's like the Rockford thing. Right?
Is that more of a statement about Rockford?
No, I don't know. I honestly don't know the answer to that. Like it's got a, so when I walked in, it has much more of a chainy feel than I expected.
Okay.
And again, all I got was a roast beef sandwich and fries. Hope and Addie shared an order of loaded fries, which were great. Everything was good. The roast beef was good, but it was kind of like just basic fast food. So I think my disconnect is, okay, it was fine. Like if I lived in Rockford, it would be part of my rotation, right? I get a taste for Beef-a-Roo. I'll go get it. I think saying elevated Arby's is probably a little bit true.
Okay.
But I just don't understand why when people say Rockford, the first thing you are told is Beef-a-Roo.
Every time.
Right. But like, so Rockford people, thank you for listening. Explain that to me. Like, why is it specifically Beef-a-Roo that is like the thing in Rockford? Because I don't think they're only in Rockford. Right? I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think they're only in Rockford. So, like, why is that the, like, oh, you're in Rockford, you got to get Beef-a-Roo. That'd be like, oh, you're in Homewood, you got to get Pops. Like, it's a beef place with good hot dogs and stuff, but, like, it's not like a destination kind of a place. That's kind of like my confusion. Is like, why is it so revered? I don't get that whole thing. But again, I liked it. It was good. I truly enjoyed it. I just didn't understand the whole thing.
All right. Last thing here is from our Culver's Insider.
Oh, yeah.
Who says, So glad you guys enjoyed the new smokehouse sandwiches. Thank you for the kind words. Be sure to try it as either crispy, spicy, or grilled chicken. Couple notes. Same all beef patties they use on all their butter burgers.
Okay.
This is a limited time offer sandwich. Unfortunately, the only item we add for it is
The bun?
the bun. Pro tip, add bacon.
Okay.
Twist my arm. So enjoy it while you can. So thank you to the Culver's Insider, A, for the heads up initially, and B, for the clarification and some not great news that it is a limited time item, but we understand.
It'll be back.
Hopefully.
It'll be back. As the wrestling guru Jim Cornette says, how can I miss you if you've never gone?
True.
There you go. So, all right. I'm trying the spicy. That's happening this week.
Same here.
I didn't even think of that because I knew chicken and I knew burger. I never thought spicy chicken. That's
that would
happening.
Be great.
That's happening within the next 48 hours.
Same here.
All right.
All right. Follow us on all of our social media at I'm Fat Pod, imfatpod@gmail.com. Check out the Patreon if you like. What's the new Spotify?
Yeah.
Is that the new? Okay.
On Spotify, I open up your app, open up your desktop. You can see there is a button to support us on there. Chip in a couple bucks a month, chip in $5 a month, $3 a month, whatever. It would really, really make a difference if half of our audience chose to do that, a third of our audience chose to do that. It would truly be like a life-changing thing for us.
Yes.
And hey, if you enjoy what we do, a couple bucks a month is a great way to let us know.
Absolutely. Now I got to change my whole thing and my way I write things out. I'm fatmerch.com for all of our stuff on TeePublic. And even if you don't want our stuff, use that link. So that way we get the ye old kickback.
Real quick update. Since the show has began, I have a new design. If you're listening to this right now, there is a new I'm Fat podcast design inspired by the old style beer logo. If you're from Chicago, you're going to love it. Go to imfatmerch.com right now and buy that shirt.
I love that and maybe it was just me, you kind of went a little weird with the internet there. So it almost sounded like you had auto-tune when you were saying now.
I did, yeah. Like I'm Cher.
Yeah, exactly.
Or every rapper of the last 10 years.
You know rappers from the last 10 years? So check out YouTube. Jesus. I'm off my game now completely.
Sorry.
It's also 10:30 at night. So I've got nothing left. The stupid F1 race was at 6 a.m. and I'm an idiot and I woke up for it. And it was a boring race. Whatever. YouTube.com/I'm Fat Podcast. Subscribe, like each video. Even if you don't end up watching us that way, it helps us out big time. And then subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, unsubscribe, and resubscribe to the regular podcast feed of your choosing. And leave us ye ol' 5-star review and a rating there. That helps us out a ton. And the best thing you can do is help out our sponsors. Let them know that you love us and that you're checking them out because of us. Charlie the Bacon Guy, Mazda of Orland Park, and Frato's Culinary Kitchen. So for Jay, I'm Rick, and this is the I'm Fat Podcast.
I hope you have a fantastic day.